and Traditional Affairs, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, to give us an update on the 2021 local government elections. Minister, we welcome you to give us the update. Thank you. It appears, Minister, we have a technical glitch that side in terms of the volume. We can't hear the Minister. We will quickly check what might be the problem. We can't get the volume from the Minister.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now the Minister is very clear. Minister, you are welcome. You can give us the update and the brief.
Okay, thank you very much. Members of the media, thank you for joining us today for a briefing on the process leading up to the 2021 local government elections. These elections are taking place in unusual conditions as the country is engulfed by the COVID-19, which is a global pandemic. On the 3rd of August, I proclaimed that the date for the local government elections will be the 27th of October, 2021. Subsequently, the Electoral Commission filed papers in the Constitutional Court to ask for a postponement of the 2021 local government elections. I was cited as the first respondent on the matter, where the IEC asked the court to authorize me to withdraw the proclamation of an election date and issue a fresh notice for a date before the 28th February 2022. Their argument for the postponement was informed by Justice Mseneka's report, which concluded that, I quote, "It is not reasonably possible to or likely that the local government election scheduled for the month of October 2021 will be held in a free and fair manner," close quote. The Constitutional Court handed down an order on the 3rd of September 2021, which dismissed the IEC's application to defer the local government elections and also set aside the August proclamation. The consequence of setting aside the proclamation is that it opens the voters' roll. So as we speak, voter registration is allowed and is progressing. The court also instructed the IEC to determine whether it is practical to hold a voter registration weekend. It also directed the elections to be held any day between the 27th October and the 1st November 2021. I affirm the commitment stated in my explanatory affidavit to abide by the decision of the Constitutional Court. Therefore, I accept the Constitutional Court decision to set aside the proclamation. In complying with the Constitutional Court order, the IEC has decided that a physical registration weekend is necessary, and it will go ahead before the elections, which will be on the 18th to the 19th September 2021. So after consultation with the IEC, we've come to the determination that this year's local government election will be held on the 1st of November 2021. This is in accordance with the Constitution, read with the Municipal Structures Act, as the Act prescribes that the election must be held within 90 days from the end of the 5-year term of local government. We will officially proclaim this date on the 20th September 2021, after the voters' roll registration weekend. We could have chosen the original proclaimed date of the 27th of October, but we have chosen the most outer date, as the IEC indicated that it will need as much time as possible to prepare for the elections. Of course, these elections are very important in advancing our young democracy. They mark the 21st anniversary since the establishment of a democratical local government system in our country. This sphere of government remains very important. It's the hope for our people, as it is the sphere closest to them and is at the rock face of service delivery. Fellow South Africans, let me also say that the process leading to the election will be taking place during the pandemic. And therefore, it is important for all of us to continue to exercise caution and sanitize, wear a mask, and social distance, even as the campaign is going on, even the registration, even the election itself. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Minister, for the update and the comprehensive statement. I would invite members of the media to post questions on the chat group or on the Q&A, and we will be able to send them or read them aloud to the Minister. In the meantime, Minister, ungayichaza ngesizulu ukuthi bakwazi ukuzwa ekhaya ukuthi sisebenza kanjani.
Okay. Ngiyabonga kakhulu, ngiyanibingelela nonke ukuthi nilalele. Ngibingelela nalaba abasikhulumela izindaba. Bengithi nje angichazi ukuthi kusukela manje uhlelo lokuya okhethweni lo hulumeni basekhaya lizohamba kanjani. Nizokhumbula ukuthi ngomhla zizine uNcwala August ngakhuluma ngathi usuku lokhetho luzoba za27 uMfumfu October. Kwase kuthi emva kwaloko ikhomishana lena emele ukhetho iIEC yaye enkantolo yomthetho wesisekelo yathi cela ukuthi ukhetho luhlehle lube osukwini oluzoba uFebruary uNhlolanja onyakeni ozayo. Lokho ke babekususela ekutheni ijaji uJaji Mseneka osewambesheni wayethe umebheka isimo ubona sengathi ukhetho ngeke lihambe kahle lube olukhululekile ngoba ngesimo esikusona. Kodwa ke inkantolo ibese ikhipha isinqumo mhla zi3 kulenyanga yathi cha ukhetho kufuneka liqhubeke. Kufuneka liqhubeke sisho usuku oluphakathi kwalolu suku esasilishilo nalo singasangaliphinda kuya kumhla ka1 kuNovember. Yase futhi iphinda ithi lokho engangikumemezela sikubeke eceleni simemezele lo suku olusha. Yase phinda futhi ithi iCommissioner yokhetho ayibheka ukuthi akuzukwazi ukwenza ukuthi kube khona impela sonto lapho kungenziwa khona ukubhalisela ukhetho njengoba kuyinhlala yenza ukuthi makuzoba nokhetho kuba khona impela sonto lapho abantu akade bengakabhalisi bezohamba bayobhalisa. Itheke iCommissioner yokhetho mayibheka isimo yasithi cha kuzokwenzeka ngale mpela sonto hayi lesiya kuyona emva kwaleyo ngomhla zi18 kuya kuyi18 kulenyanga ephezulu. Sitheke mase sibonisana nale commission ngoba ngokubeka nje lolu suku eceleni lomhla ka27 kusho ukuthi hawu ukubhalisela ukhetho sekuvulelekile njengoba sikhuluma nje kuvulelekile noma ubani ufuna ukubhalisa usangabhalisa angazalinde le yampela sonto ongafuni ukulinda impela sonto kodwa ke siyogazetha siyofaka lapha esimemezelweni sikahulumeni lolu suku solifaka mhla ka20 ngoba uma sesiligazetha kusho ukuthi sekuyavalwa ukubhalisela ukhetho ngakho ke siyoligazetha ngomhla zama-20 mhla ka20 kule nyanga ephezulu mase siligazethile-ke kusho ukuthi ke i-voters roll uhlelo lolu labavoti seliyavalwa sikhetheke lolu suku lomhla ka1 kuNovember ngoba iCommissioner yokhetho ithe njengoba sekufanele iqhubeke ngokhetho manje isidinga lonke i-hour lonke iminute elikhona yiko ke siye sathi asiye osukwini lokugcina ngci elivumelekile ukuthi ukhetho lube ngalo nginikhumbuzeke nje futhi bantu bakithi ukuthi lolu khetho siyakulona libalekile kakhulu ngoba ukhetho lohulumeni basekhaya lona olunikeza ithemba kakhulu kubantu ngoba izidingo zabantu emphakathini bazithola khona kulabo uhulumeni basekhaya kodwa ke sikhumbuzane futhi ukuthi kulonyaka sizobe senza ukhetho siqala ukwenza ukhetho kulesimo esiphezulu kwaso sale COVID okusho ukuthi sonke isikhathi noma ngabe siyakhankasa noma ngabe siyabhalisa noma ngabe senzani kufanele ukuthi sigcine imithetho le ye-COVID yokuthi sihlale njalo izandla sizigeza sisanitizer siqaqane masihleli sifake izifonyo ukuze phela ukhetho lungaphenduki izinyembezi lapho abantu abaningi sebengenwa ileli gciwane le-COVID ngithi angibongeke kakhulu ukuthi nilalele.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Minister Siyabonga. Minister, we already have a few questions, but maybe first let me check if Natasha Piri from SABC is still on the line. She wanted to ask a question.
Once it's proclaimed,
Natasha?
will it be?
Natasha Piri? In the meantime, whilst waiting for Natasha to
let me unmute myself. Hi, William.
Yes, Natasha, can you come
Hi,
with your
can you
questions?
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very clear.
Okay,
Come
sorry,
with your
it's
questions.
Natasha here from SABC News. I just wanted clarity. I mean, normally election days take place on a Wednesday. So I think this will be the first time in the history of the country that it actually takes place on a Monday. Just also talk us through the process of, the gazetting, the declaring of the day and making the day a public holiday, just for clarity for those South Africans who don't know the process. Thank you, and I hope I made sense.
Thank you very much, Natasha. Minister, let me also add the following questions from Mbali Tetani of Newsroom Africa. She wants to know, will political parties be able to campaign? Has government looked at what will be allowed during this period since we find ourselves in the middle of a pandemic? That is the question that we have a minister from Newsroom Africa. And the other question is from Sumen Naidu, a freelance journalist. The question is, has the minister spoken to the president in terms of declaring the elections day a public holiday, and when will this be announced? Maybe, Minister, let me also include the following question from Silindelo Masikani of ENCA. And the question is, when are we expecting the president to address the nation regarding lockdown restrictions? Campaigning can obviously not take place under level 3. Karine Duplessis, freelance for the Daily Maverick. The question is, how soon does the minister expect lockdown regulations to be relaxed to allow for campaign to take place? The second question is, does the minister agree with the IEC interpretation of the Constitutional Court judgment that it provides for another round of candidate nominations once the voters' roll closes? The third one is November falls on a Monday, which means that South Africa will, for the first time, have elections on a Monday. Will it be a holiday? Is government concerned that having elections on a Monday could negatively influence voter turnout? I think the questions, Minister, are more or the same, but be that it may, I will just read. The last one is from Jason Felix, and it's starting with greetings to the minister, good afternoon. And the question is, the DA has filed an application to set aside the IEC's decision to reopen the candidate nomination registration process. What is government's response to the DA's court application? Does the DA's court application affect the electoral process going forward? Thank you very much, Minister. We can give you the platform to respond.
Thank you very much for those questions. Can you hear me?
Yes, Minister, you are very clear.
Okay. Indeed, it is the first time that the elections will be held on a Wednesday. Oh, sorry, on a Monday. Normally, we hold it on a Wednesday. But as I explained, the IEC, having not had the registration weekend earlier, and having hoped for the Constitutional Court to postpone the elections, of course, now they have a very short time to do everything and do it correct. So they feel that they need every hour, every minute to complete this process. So that's why we had to go to the outer date. And unfortunately, the outer date does not fall on a Wednesday, it falls on the Monday. In terms of it being declared a public holiday, of course, there'll be discussions with the Minister of Home Affairs and the President, as you say. So that process will take place. Now, whether you are correct that the DA has filed papers. Now that the DA has filed papers in court to say that against the interpretation that the IEC had of reopening the candidate registration, it means that matter is now sub judice, because I'm also cited in their papers as respondent number 2. So I'll rather not answer that question until I answer it in the affidavit, if you will allow me that space. The issue of whether the political parties will campaign, of course they'll campaign, though there may be some restrictions, obviously, because even when they have a meeting, there may be numbers that are allowed indoors and numbers that are allowed outdoors, the spacing, the masks. So yes, they'll campaign, they can go door to door, but they have to keep to the protocols. How soon does the minister expect the lockdown? Well, actually, we are guided by the pandemic. At this point in time, we're at level 3, but as the numbers go down, that will change. The president will talk to the nation, but in the meantime, we're still having consultations because there are lots of consultations that need to take place, whether with political parties. We've consulted the provinces already, but they need to be consultation with traditional leaders, with religious leaders. So there are consultations that are taking place so that when the president speaks to the nation, those consultations would have taken place. So that's what I can say for now. Yeah, I think I've answered all the questions.
No, thank you very much, Minister. Yes, indeed, Minister, you have responded to all the questions that have been asked. And let me take this opportunity to thank you very much, Minister. And this brings us to the end of this press briefing questions. Maybe, Minister, in closing, you might repeat in one of our languages some of the key responses, especially in terms of whether it will be declared your holiday, and also the responses that you have given that, yes, the president will be addressing the nation soon on these matters. Minister?
Yebo, ngiyabonga nala mbuzo enibuzile. Kokuqala ngisho ukuthi niqinisile ngempela ukuthi asikaze sibe nokhetho olungomsombuluko. Sihlale siba nokhetho olungolwesithathu. Kodwa ke kule game sizoba nokhetho olungomsombuluko hayi ngoba sithanda kodwa ngoba siphoqwa isimo. Isimo esikusona angithi iCommissioner yokhetho yaye enkantolo yayocela ukuthi ukhetho alihlehle kuze kube unyaka ozayo. Yangayenza nempela sonto yokubhalisa abavoti yangaba khona. Manje inkantolo mayisibuya isisichitha leso sicelo seyithi ukhetho aliqhubeke. Kwacaca ukuthi kufanele ukuthi bayenze impela sonto yokubhalisa abavoti. Manje mabenza le mpela sonto yokubhalisa abavoti kusho ukuthi isikhathi sincane manje sokulungiselela lolu khetho. Bayakhala ukuthi manje isikhathi njengoba sesisincane badinga lonke ihora elikhona, badinga lonke iminute elikhona, umzuzu, wonke umzuzu abangawuthola bayawudinga. Yiko ke sithe kungcono ke kube ngayo umhla ka1 ngoba umhla ka1 ilanga lokugcina esikwazi ukuthi ukhetho lwenzeke ngalo ngokomthetho wesisekelo nangokwemthetho yokhetho. Iloko okwenza ukuthi luye ngokumsombuluko. Omunye umbuzo uthi ke lizoba khona ini holiday. Lokho ke kuzoxoxwa njengoba kuhlale kwenziwa nomphathiswa wezasekhaya nomongameli bese mase bexoxiwe bese ke kwenzeka lokho kufanele kuzokhulunywa lokho nomphathiswa lo wezasekhaya. Ukuthi ke inhlangano zombangazwe zizokwazi yini ukukhankasa? Yebo, zizokhankasa. Njengoba nje sikhankasa nakuma by-elections zizokhankasa namanje. Kodwa zizokhankasa phakathi komthetho lo okhona wokuthi kufanele inani labantu abasendlini babe ngaka elabantu abangaphandle kuzoba nenani elibekiwe. Kodwa kuya ngokuthi abantu abahlaselwa ilesifo usuku nosuku bangakanani. Njengoba inamba seziqala ukwehla kusho ukuthi mazehla inamba mazehla amanani abantu abanalesifo usuku nosuku ziyakhuphuka amanani abantu abangahlala emhlanganweni. Kusho ukuthi njengoba inamba zehla umongameli uzokhuluma kungekudala kodwa okwamanje usabonisana nokufanele kuboniswane nabo sibonisene nama-province iy'funda sabonisana kuzoboniswana nabenkolo kuboniswane nabaphethe imhlaba amakhosi kuboniswane nabaphethe nama-political parties imbutho yembangazwe kuboniswane nawo wonke umuntu kuzathi mekhuluma nathi akhulume nathi sekuboniswene nabo nabaningi okufanele kuboniswane nabo bese yakhuluma ke nathi. Lokuthi ke ngiyavumelana yini nokuthi uphinde kuvulwe ukubhaliswa kwabantu abazomela ukhetho. Njengoba iDA seyiyenkantolo nami ingibalile lapho ibale iCommissioner number 1 mina number 2 wabantu abamangalelwayo. Ngakho ke angisezukwazi ukukhuluma la ngiphendule lo mbuzo ngoba sekufanele ngiwuphendule kwi-affidavit engizoyisa enkantolo. Mase ngiphendulile ke kwi-affidavit ngayisa enkantolo impendulo yami siyobe sibonakala lapho. Kodwa kwamanje ngeke ngikwazi ukukhuluma ngayo njengoba sebefaka amaphepha enkantolo. Ngingathi nje ngiphendula kanjalo embuzweni ngiyacabanga ukuthi ngiphendulile yonke imibuzo ebengibuzwe yona. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much, Minister Siyabonga, and thank you to all the participants in this press briefing, but also thank you for all the questions that you have asked. The statement will be shared very soon, and this brings us to the end of this press briefing. Thank you very much. The press briefing is adjourned.
Thank you very much to you and to the ladies and gentlemen of the media and to the viewers. Thank you.